Hi, hello, everyone. I am Dr. Visweswaraiah, Assistant Professor of English, working in Government First Grade College, Kodigal, which is affiliated to Tumkur University. So, dear viewers and my dear students, this is about this session is going to give you some information regarding a song for Saint Cecilia days, a critical analysis, or to look at the poetry in a thematic way, and we are going to just know about how John Dryden looked a song for Saint Cecilia's Day in a critical point of view. See, we can just see that this poetry, which belongs to the Restoration period in English literature, it had its own, symbolic way of representation, and it had its own motive and themes behind it. So that's why here a song for Saint Cecilia's Day, though it is a dedicated or to the commemorating November 22nd of Saint Cecilia's Day, it is importantly to look out how power of music obeys, or because of that power of music, this universe began to act. Until then, the complete universe was inactive. So such a way that Dryden's intention of writing this poetry is a very remarkable one. Okay, dear viewers, let us have some slides on the screen so that you can able to follow with that. Okay, so look at that. Here in this particular scene, you will be going to just look at how the topic is in the slide. It is written, and the details of my presentation. Okay, look at that in the introduction part of this presentation. The topic is critical analysis of the poetry, that is poetry, poem, a song for Saint Cecilia's Day. Okay, so look at that. A song for Saint Cecilia's Day is a well-known poem of John Dryden. It was written on the occasion of Saint Cecilia's Day, 22nd November 1687. So when you just think about this, we have already know the poetry. In my previous videos, detailed explanation was given to the poetry. It praises the power of music. The poetry praises the power of music and the patron Saint Cecilia in an awe-inspiring the tone she has. Okay, so this poem celebrates music and its intimacy with human emotion, religious truth, and makings of universe. So look at that, how the speaker describes a variety of different musical instruments. So dear viewers, in this particular slide, it is told about the introduction, how Saint Cecilia's Day is celebrated. So to commemorate that day, Dryden wrote this poem, and also and also brought out the power of music behind everything. Okay, so especially when it is comes to the frame or universal frame, or this complete universe began with the power of music. It's beautiful poem actually. Says, look at that, without music everything is in the musical order, putting to the musical order, and how each instrument produce a different musical or different musical notes. It pleases the human emotions and it pleases the humans. Okay, look at that. As to summarize this poetry, look at that on the screen. A song for Saint Cecilia's Day describes the divine features of music, as I already told you. How Saint Cecilia mesmerized heaven with her music. Look at that, she mesmerized heaven with her music. So, speaker separated, or the Dryden separated this poem into 8 sections, which includes a grand chorus at the last or at the end. So each stanza, he talks about different aspects of music and classical musicians. Okay, so we see that in the first stanza, it introduces to the audience how divine harmony lies in everything. So because of the divine harmony from heavenly harmony, this universal frame began. Look at that. See how the divine harmony lies in everything. That is, that is, striking aspects of, the Dryden's writing. Okay, look at that. When it come to the music being a divine art form, infuses life into nature. So look at that, how the divine art of music infuses life, because until then, before this command or before this harmony, so complete all the atoms, they dead. Okay, and so with the divine of art, it infuses life into nature. It's a beautiful thing. From the following stanzas, the poetic persona talks about different instruments here. Look at that, the different instruments like chorded shell, trumpet, drum, flute, violin, and last but not the least, Saint Cecilia's organ itself is a musical instrument. Look at that, how a speaker here, her organ itself considered as an instrument. Okay, at the end of the poetry, there is a reference to the revolutionary aspect of music that can even threaten heaven. Look at that, how the revolutionary aspect of music that can even threaten heaven. Look at the last, it says that that when that angel confused confused earth to heaven, so that directly landed because of the music, or because of the power of music, or because of Saint Cecilia's involvement with the music. Such a beautiful poetry it is. Okay, so look at that. The structure of here, you just see that structure of this poetry is separated into 8 stanzas, which includes grand chorus. The first 7 verses are sung by a single voice. The 7 stanzas, verses, it was sung by, are sung by a single voice. At the last stanza, it is meant for the grand chorus, as it is a song occasioned for Saint Cecilia's Day on 22nd November 1687. It has such a structure. So, the first stanza is the longest one, and it contains 15 lines, and even it will be clear that the line count decreases till the 4th stanza. See, every stanza, it decreases. Thereafter, the line count increases gradually, and this poem does not have a specific any rhythm or rhyming pattern. But though we see that, in between, like, the poet chooses the alternative and closed rhyme scheme here. For instance, there are some rhyming couplets are there. The iambic meter is mostly used in this piece, but there is not any metrical pattern. Okay, so that is how we can just see that how the structure of this poem is dealt with. Okay, so this is what you need to focus on here. So next you will be going to highlight on or to think about the figures of speech used in this poetry. Look at that. We can find several literary devices in the poem that makes this song more engaging to the readers. Okay, so how you can just think about, look at that. There is a metaphor in the heap of jarring atoms. Look at that, how jarring atoms, heap of jarring atoms, it's a metaphor there. There is an alliteration in the phrase heave a head. Look at that, heave a head. It contains a repetition of H sound there. H, heave, her, head, like that. Right after the that comes polysyndeton in the line. Look at that. Then cold and hot and moist and dry. Look at that, how cold and hot, moist and dry. See, this is there is an antithesis. Look at the 2 opposites put together here. See, that is very interesting to know that how then cold and hot and moist and dry. So this is how antitheses are used in this poetry. Okay, so then okay, let us go to the Dryden uses of paleology by repeating the word harmony. Harmony is used in the first stanza many times, and harmony, from heavenly harmony this universal frame began, from harmony to harmony. Look at that. How these are the philology. This repeating the word harmony uses here. Okay, and the first line of the second stanza uses a rhetorical exclamation for emphasizing music's power. Music's power. Look at how. So, besides this stanza, it contains an allusion to the classical musician Jubal. Look at that. Jubal struck, caught its shell. Look at how, allusion to the classical musician Jubal used here. And in the same way, the word clangor, the word used here, clangor, means the trumpet sounds like clangor, shrilling voice is an example of onomatopoeia. This is how figures of speech of this used here. Okay, in the third stanza, the repetition of the hard consonant sounds presents consonance. Okay, so that is how we use that repetition of the hard consonant sound. Double beat of. Look at that how it is used here. So that is how it is very important to. Okay, like this. Okay, we'll see that more emphasis on emphasized here in figures of speech. Okay, look at that. Symbols, allegory, and motifs used here in the poem. A song for Saint Cecilia Day. So the speaker refers to, describes and even personifies a variety of instruments. That is the trumpet, drum, flute, lute, violin, organ, lyre, which embody emotional and artistic power. Because these are the symbols used to embody the emotional, artistic power. Even the speaker of this poem often uses military language to describe the powers of music. Is it? Look at how musical, power of music even uses the military language. Military language like, the speaker states that the trumpet clangor sound excites us to arms. Look at that. An instrument often used in a battle excites us to arms with the shrill notes of anger and mortal alarms. Look at that. How cries, charge, charge. Look at that. How all these symbolically used to represent how the power of music gives importance to such symbols. And that the drum, another instrument used here in the double beat of the sound, it cries, hark, the foes to come. Look at the foes to come. Okay, see, this is how the symbols and motifs of use of motifs in this particular poetry written by John Dryden. Okay, see how Dryden's importance is here given here. Look at another one is the Orpheus myth. So the myth of Orpheus, allegory, is used here. The speaker uses the myth of Orpheus as an allegory for the persuasive power of music. Because in the mythological reference, the musician Orpheus uses the melody of his lyre to attract the people, animals, and even plants uprooted and followed him. Even the bees, animals, bees, people followed him because it has such a power of music. Even in our tradition, we use like a Kindari Jogi, how with his music, he attracted the whole the people and even children. Like that, such a importance given here in to Orpheus. Okay, in the 7th stanza, alluding to this narrative, like Orpheus could lead to the savage race, and even trees unrooted left their place, sequacious of the lyre. How that the lyre, how the speaker argues that the latter is superior because her organ was able to charm not only the earthly but also the divine. Look at how the speaker uses that the organ or Cecilia's organ attracted the divine power. An angel heard this and straight appeared, mistaking earth for heaven. Such a allegory is used in to just speak about the power of music. So like that, let us look at that here on the screen. Look at that biblical imagery is also used here. It seems apt that the speaker, in commemorating Saint Cecilia, a Catholic martyr, makes references to biblical figures. Okay, narratives such as Jubal, again father of music, or a musician in the book of Genesis, Christian concepts such as heaven, angels, and the great creator is used in this poetry. Again, the speaker also emphasizes the dichotomy between the Christian and non-Christian, because the contrast between Orpheus and Saint Cecilia. Look at that, how is contrast between the both Orpheus and Saint Cecilia in stanza 7 is one example in which the poem juxtaposes a pagan figure with a Catholic figure to illustrate the superiority and sanctity. Okay, that is how sanctity of and superiority illustrated. So this is how the biblical imagery used in this poem, a song for Saint Cecilia's day. Okay, to conclude with this session of critical analysis of the poem, so a song for Saint Cecilia's day, music stirs in the hearts of its listeners. It's inspiring emotions such as a passion, excitement, anger, jealousy, and sorrow, elevating the spirit and connecting to the divine. Look at that, all the instruments produce, each instrument produces each of emotions, like emotions they are used, like excitement, passion, passion, excitement, anger, jealousy, and sorrow, elevating the spirit and connecting to the divine. Okay, the final of the poem, however, it takes these capabilities to another level, that is, in which music can even reverse the very harmony of the universe. So, this is how, song for Saint Cecilia's Day is dealt with so many aspects and so many literary aspects, and even so many literary you know and themes and motives behind the writing of this poem. Okay, so dear viewers, this kind of an overview regarding a song for Saint Cecilia's Day, critical analysis. Okay, then kindly just read out and more on Dryden to understand, or even to read the Restoration period of English literature to understand this poetry more. Okay, dear viewers, thank you so much for listening to me and watching this video. So kindly subscribe and share. Thank you so much. See you in another video. Thank you.